Yeah, what is good, my anime people? What is good? It's time to talk about Odin, and it looks like his final push against Kaido, and using the rest of his samurai that we know. Some of them are, well, actually, most of them are still alive, so it's kind of interesting to see how many people are actually going to make it out of this war alive that has been started, even though a lot of them are 110% fighting for Odin, and to think that they would even be capable of getting out of it is pretty interesting. So I am very curious to see how that's going to play out. How are they going to get out of this situation um, with multiple characters already showcasing some ridiculously fierce attacks and re- just this choreography for the samurais was so sick. Just to see them dancing around these people, absolutely destroying them, just showcasing how much of how much more of a leap they are further than any of Kaido's underlings, because that's all they really are, just a bunch of underling types of followers that are throwing themselves to the flames, not really understanding that they never had a chance, but really just only using their numbers against Odin and his team isn't enough, right? Like just by doing that, you're just leaving yourself in a position where you can't really do much else, right? Like you're going against people that are just so talented and actually skilled at what they do that you're pretty much there to wear them down. You're not even there to actually deal the final blows and stuff like that because they're just so ridiculously powerful. I really do love the fact that they pretty much explain Odin's biggest downfall and why someone like him could have already had a much higher chance of winning, but at the same time, could have had a higher chance of putting his family and friends in that village in a much worse position if he had lost early on. But I mean, regardless of how you look at it, things still turn out for the worse. So it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, coulda, shoulda, woulda, but at the same time, everything comes with its own consequences. And I'm pretty sure that would have been one of them with how Orochi's already had his eyes on the sight of Odin's, family, let alone Odin himself. So it just really goes to show you how much of a coward and how trash the people are that are going against Odin, that are trying to, take every single thing away from him, seeing how if they can't beat him in traditional ways, they were going to find a way to beat him. And that way was pretty obvious once we saw, they were willing to attack people weaker than Odin just to make sure he had less amounts of teammates to back him. And we already seen what types of guns these pirates can come up with, like the plague and stuff like that. So it definitely wasn't a competition, to say the least, probably against the people that actually just ran in there trying to avenge the Yakuza leader. So it's getting really, really to the point where we're understanding why everybody's in what position they're in, with Luffy being with the Yakuza boss, still sealed away, not fighting for Kaido, which is pretty much, the whole point and premise of him being attacked in the first place, is because he wasn't going to choose that side, and because of the side he would have chose would have been a lot more deadly. You might as well crush any adversaries that are going to be willing to go against you. But overall, man, this episode was super ridiculously fire, and I hope y'all are having an amazing night, evening, whatever the case may be when you're watching this. I am your boy, the Anime G. And I would love to hear about your One Piece thoughts. And I'll talk to you in the next one. All rise for Lord Odan, the man who never stopped fighting, even when he was dancing. Peace.